When you own reptiles, you tend to get asked the same questions over and over again. And one of the most frequent questions that I get asked is, why don't you own any normal pets? And by normal pets, people are usually referring to dogs, cats, and birds. And the truth is, I love normal pets. I have a bird and a cat, and I love them both dearly. And when I get my own house, I plan on getting a lot of dogs. But there's a reason why I own a lot more reptiles than I do normal pets. And that's because they're simply just better. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why reptiles make better pets than your dog and cat. My name's Pierce LaValle. This is Pierce's Planet. Stick around.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Yo, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. Today, I am here with my spotted python, Simon. Okay, so normal pets. And as you can see, every time I say normal pets, I put the quotation marks up, and that's because what are normal pets? The definition of a normal pet is really up to interpretation. It's really what you think it is. Now, I understand the majority of people would consider dogs, cats, and birds, ferrets, hamsters, pretty much anything warm-blooded or any type of mammal or bird, they would pretty much consider that like a normal pet. I guess I shouldn't say any mammal or any bird, because obviously if you had a pet ostrich or something, most people wouldn't consider that a normal pet, but you get what I mean. When people say normal, they usually mean domestic. So anything domestic, domestic dog, domestic cat, domestic ferret, those are all considered normal pets. And while I do love those animals too, I mean, how could you not love dogs? I mean, if you don't love dogs, then what kind of person are you? Definitely not the type of person that I want in my inner circle. But while I do love those animals too, these are cold-blooded friends over here on the channel. They don't get enough love. And so that's why I wanted to make this video, to kind of shed some light on just how awesome snakes and lizards and all the rest of the cold-blooded clan are. By no means is this video going to be bashing our furry, warm-blooded friends that we all love and adore. We're just gonna be talking about why reptiles make better pets. So let's jump right into the list. And actually, before we do that, you guys, I just want to ask you if you could please click on that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's jump right into the list. Okay, so the first reason why reptiles are better than, say, your dog or your cat. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is in no particular order, but the first reason why reptiles make better pets than dogs and cats and other normal pets is because they're low maintenance. With dogs, you have to get up every day, you have to let them outside so they can go pee or go poop, they have to have their playtime, they have to have a bunch of toys, then you gotta take them on walks. Birds, they need this big fancy cage with an abundance of toys. You gotta change out those toys every 2 months or else they'll get bored and start plucking their feathers. I mean, just the list goes on and on with different kinds of normal pets. Whereas reptiles, it almost seems like you could just put them in a box.
Oh, what's in the box?
Give them water and feed them every once in a while and they will be good. Now obviously that's a little bit of an extreme example, because I would consider that animal abuse if you just threw your bearded dragon into a box and then just put crickets in there every once in a while and gave it a bowl of water. Yeah, I think that would be abuse. But you get what I'm saying. They're a lot easier to take care of and they take up a lot less of your time. I think most people would agree that when you own the majority of domesticated animals, it's almost like having a child. They take up just a bunch of your time and they are very, very needy and they need attention and they need toys and they need playtime. They need things to stimulate them. Reptiles are not like that. I mean, reptiles need enrichment, but you could put a log in a snake's cage and that could be enrichment for it. Then you can move that log to the other side of the cage and that's a different sort of enrichment for the snake. So it's really, really simple to keep your reptiles entertained and to maintain them. Now, yes, there are certain species of reptiles that might be a little bit more high maintenance than others, but doesn't that kind of just go for every type of animal, an Asian water monitor is going to be a lot higher maintenance than a bearded dragon is. And size has a lot to do with that. But size affects all species of animals and their maintenance. A Chihuahua is going to be a lot less maintenance than a Great Dane is. And so if you can see, it's kind of the same thing. Although Chihuahua owners might disagree with me on that one because Chihuahuas are the devil. They really are.
Everything is the devil to you, mama!
But if you look at it as a whole, reptiles are way less maintenance than your typical domesticated pet. Okay, and coming in at number 2, another reason why reptiles just simply make better pets is because they don't make noise. This one should be a no-brainer. Dogs bark, birds are... It's excruciating how loud birds are. I'm actually surprised Anzu's being as quiet as she's being this whole video, but just wait for it. It will come. And reptiles? Nothing. Unless you're a little daredevil and you own a pet rattlesnake, you're probably never going to hear any of your pet reptiles make a sound. With the exception of maybe a snake hiss that if you move 10 feet away, you wouldn't hear it anymore. Or unless you have like a pair of very frisky tortoises that make the, you know, the sound. Which I do, and is why I had to separate them because they were kind of doing it a lot and was kind of weirding my dad and stepmom out. Sorry guys. The most noise you're going to get from your reptiles is from their food. If you have lizards that eat crickets, then I'll admit that can get a little annoying after a while, but after a while you get used to it, and now I just tune it out. I don't even hear when crickets are in the cage anymore. But if your pet's food is the loudest thing about your pet, then you got a pretty quiet pet. So if you're someone who likes their peace and quiet and you don't want to be woken up to barking at 2 o'clock in the morning because an owl flew by your house, then a reptile is the way to go. Okay, and a third reason why reptiles are just simply better is because they don't need any type of interaction from you. Okay, now this might be a con for some people. I would say a lot of people actually enjoy coming home and being greeted by their dog or their cat or whatever it is that they own. And I actually enjoy that too. I enjoy my bird being happy when I walk into the house. And that's all fun and fine and dandy. But what about 2 hours later? What about 3 hours later? What about 4 hours later? What if you want to go on a trip? Dogs and birds especially, they need that human interaction. They need to be stimulated. You need to set out hours in your day to interact with them one-on-one and give them that playtime and that one-on-one experience with you. And that's fine and dandy if you have the time, but majority of people work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Some people even work more than that. And then you add on top of that, you know, social interactions and seeing family and kids. And a lot of people just don't have the time to put in to dedicate to their dog or their bird. Whereas if you have a reptile, you don't need to do any of that. They are perfectly fine with being left alone in their cages and you never even walking back into the room again unless it's to feed them. Reptiles tolerate us. Simon is tolerating me holding him right now. He would much rather be in his cage chilling and me being out of the room right now. Whereas my bird, Anzu, is doing everything she can to get into this room right now so that she could sit on my shoulder and she could poop on me all day. Now that's great and I love my bird, but after 2 hours of her pooping on me and sitting on my shoulder, you know, daddy needs some alone time and she doesn't want to give it to me. Simon would be happy to give me that alone time right now. And that lack of a need for social interaction also plays a big role in you getting to go out and take trips and do what you want to do. If you want to go on, let's say, a weekend 2-day trip a couple hours away, you can do that with reptiles because you could just give them their bowl of water, you feed them before you leave. Maybe you have somebody come in and check heat lights and stuff to make sure that you don't burn your house down. That's always recommended. But other than that, you really don't have to worry about them. If you wanted to take that same trip, but you had a dog, or let's say you had a bird, you would have to find somebody to come over to your house. They would have to give them that social interaction for you. They'd have to feed them, maybe take your dog out for a walk. And if you couldn't find someone to do that, then you would have to pay to have your animal boarded for those couple days that you'll be gone to make sure that they're being taken care of. So big difference, and the flexibility that owning reptiles allows you to have is really beneficial in the long run. And if you're one of those people who actually wants and enjoys social interaction from your pets, there still are some species of reptiles for you. Things like bearded dragons, rhino iguanas, and tegus are all examples of some lizards that actually seem to enjoy human interaction. So they're out there, you just gotta do your research and find them. So if you're someone who just has a busy schedule and doesn't really have time for, your typical pets, there's almost always a reptile that can fit your schedule. Okay, and another reason why reptiles are simply just better is because they don't smell. We all know a cat lady, and if you've ever been into that cat lady's house, as soon as you walk in the door, you know they got cats. I mean, you can smell cat everywhere.
Smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Everybody!
You can smell pee, you could smell the litter box, like it just has a unique, distinct smell. When you walk into someone who owns reptiles' house, you most of the time wouldn't even know that they had reptiles unless they told you, because reptiles don't have a smell. As long as you clean their enclosures. As long as you keep your enclosures clean, you should never have a problem with smell, and that comes in clutch in so many ways. You want to have a party at your house, you don't got to worry about your friends walking in and thinking of you differently because your house smells like poop and pee and cat hair and just dog farts, whatever you want to say. There's not really much else to say. Reptiles don't really smell at all. Other pets do. Really badly in some cases. Ferrets smell bad. And last but certainly not least, another reason why reptiles are better is because you don't have to worry about your house getting destroyed by them. Anybody who's raised a puppy or a kitten or who's adopted an animal from a rescue, we've all experienced this at least once. Coming home and seeing that they've gotten into something that we didn't want them to get into, or seeing your house just completely thrashed. And that comes with the territory. You expect that, but you have to put in the work to train them to kind of stop that behavior from the beginning. With reptiles, you don't have to deal with that. Reptiles have their own little slice of heaven in their enclosure in a specific area where you want it, and they don't leave there unless you want them to leave that area. Dogs, cats, birds, whatever else, you have to let them have free range of your house. You have to share your house with them. And that means they're going to get into stuff that you don't want them to. They're going to poop on stuff that you don't want them to, especially birds, especially birds. Anzu, I'm talking to you. Reptiles, you don't have to worry about that. Although in some circumstances, it is beneficial maybe to let something like say like a tegu out and roam around your house for a little bit, and it might poop on your carpet or something. The point is that you don't have to do that. You have to do that with a dog. You have to let your cat have free roam in your house. Even though birds are in cages, it's still recommended to give them like 4 hours of playtime outside of their cage per day. So they have to be out. All the destruction that a pet lizard that you might own is gonna do is gonna be inside of their enclosure. And then once they destroy it, you just clean it out and reset it up again, and then they'll destroy it again. Snakes especially don't destroy like anything. I mean, it's kind of hard to destroy stuff when you don't have any arms or legs, but even lizards, even tortoises, they're not gonna destroy your house because you don't have to let them. I think that one's pretty much self-explanatory as well, so I don't think I really need to get into too much more detail about it. Reptiles, less destructive. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I hope that you all enjoyed the video. Did you agree with this list? Did you disagree with this list? Was there anything else that you guys would have added? Do you want a part 2? Let me know all of that down in the comments. In all honesty, you guys, I love my cats, I love my dogs, I love my birds, and the emotional bond that us as humans develop with those animals is truly irreplaceable and really unexplainable. I tell people all the time that if I were to move today and I could only take 2 of my pets with me, it would be my bird Anzu and my cat Dash. The bond that we share is just, it's amazing, it's the best. And even though it might sound like I talk down about them, it's all out of love, and I truly love them both dearly. But I wanted to make this video today to highlight reptiles and just how great a pet they make, because I say it on this channel all the time that reptiles they get this bad reputation, and it's unwarranted. And if people just kind of understood them more, they'd realize just how amazing they are and what great pets they actually make. So I hope in today's video, I was able to explain that well, and hopefully I was able to kind of shed some light on what makes them so awesome and such great pets. With that being said, thank you for all the support that you guys have shown me and this channel. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Make sure you click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please, please, please share this video. Until next time, everybody, my name's Pierce LaValle. This is Simon. We are in Pierce's Planet. And remember, it's all about the reps, baby. Peace. When you own a lot of what is normal pets? Oh my, what is normal pets? Jesus Christ, dude. And it's freaking hot in here. And actually unless you're a little cats do that little scratchy thing. In all honesty, you guys, I love my cats, I love my dogs, I love my birds, and what the f are you doing?